The Sussman trial. Let's move on to the Sussman trial. Trump's crusade to prove the Russia investigation was fraudulent is collapsing. Michael Sussman, a former lawyer for Hillary Clinton's campaign, on Tuesday was found not guilty to a single count of lying to the FBI. Former Attorney General Bill Barr in late 2020 appointed John Durham to investigate whether the Justice Department's investigation into the Trump campaign's potential ties to Russia was, as Trump has claimed repeatedly, a fraudulent witch hunt. Durham hasn't turned up much, but he did manage to get former Hillary Clinton campaign lawyer Michael Sussman to stand trial for lying to the FBI. Sussman was acquitted on Tuesday, dealing a massive blow to Durham's efforts. The case stems from Sussman alleging to the Justice Department during the 2016 presidential campaign that the Trump organization was secretly communicating with Alpha Bank, a Russian bank. Durham says Sussman did not divulge to the DOJ that he was flagging the potential back channel, of which the DOJ later said there was no evidence, on behalf of the Clintons' campaign. John Berkowitz, Sussman's lawyer, argued over the course of the trial Sussman couldn't have been acting on behalf of Clinton's campaign because testimony showed that Clinton's campaign didn't want the FBI to investigate a potential connection between Trump and Alpha Bank. There is a difference between having a client and doing something on their behalf, Sussman's lawyer, Sean Berkowitz, said, adding that the jails of Washington, D.C. would be teeming over if opposition research were to be outlawed. James Baker, the FBI lawyer who met with Sussman, also testified that he is 100% confident that Sussman told him he was not coming to him on behalf of Clinton's campaign. Sussman saying he wasn't operating on behalf of Clinton's campaign doesn't mean he wasn't actually operating on behalf of Clinton's campaign, or at least with the campaign's interest in mind. Regardless, the jury only took a few hours to reject the idea that the meeting was part of a massive conspiracy to sabotage Trump's campaign. Trump has long been alleging that Clinton's campaign illegally attempted to torpedo his 2016 presidential campaign by working with the Justice Department to fabricate the idea that he had ties to Russia. Which is weird because the Sons are literally on camera saying they had ties to Russia. Is Fox News coming out and saying, hey, nothing here. It's a nothing burger. It's a nothing burger. We were wrong all this time. No, of course not. This clip, which starts with a graphic about Hunter Biden, says Hillary Clinton sanctioned the Russia hoax.
It was about 10 minutes before closing, and the client walked in the door with 3 liquid damaged MacBook Pros. I printed up an authorization allowing me to take custody of the machine, and I had him sign that document, reviewed the document with him, and then he left. And then I took the machine.
This guy is a weirdo too.
That is the repairman of the Delaware computer repair shop that received Hunter.
They are milking that for all it's worth.
That Hunter brought in his infamous laptop. You can watch the entire 40-minute conversation on the Fox News YouTube channel or the Will Cain podcast. But now, Hunter's team is trying to cast doubt about how the potentially incriminating contents actually came to light. They're saying that story you just heard isn't true. New York Post columnist and Fox News contributor Miranda Devine wrote Laptop from Hell, and she joins us now.
Now remember, this is after Sussman was found not guilty.
John Paul MacIsaac has property, by the way, still has, maintains the data, and is telling you how he came to possess Hunter's information. How can they possibly convince us it's not true?
Good morning, Will. Look, I mean, I think they don't really need to convince you or me.
What's true?
Convince people who really haven't been told much about this story. That would be the readers of the New York Times and the Washington Post, who really were kept in the...
What story? There is no story. There is no story. Even if taken at face value, I've sat here and listened to everything all you fucks have said. There is no story. There is nothing on, like, you just keep saying Hunter's laptop. Hunter's laptop is just a boogeyman. What the fuck is on the laptop we're supposed to care about? Rudy Giuliani says he's walking around naked in front of kids. I don't believe it. Tony Babalucci, back 2 years ago, said there was some message about the big guy or some shit. It's all fucking nothing.
Dark for 18 months until out of the blue, those publications decided to say that yes, they'd authenticated the emails from the laptop was real, etc. So
No. Actually, what they've said is that some of the information on the laptop is indeed real. Nobody has confirmed that the laptop itself is real.
Business dealings is drawing to a close. That's been going on for some time. And so now I think that Hunter and his friends, this entertainment lawyer from Los Angeles who's very wealthy, Kevin Morris, is Hunter's friends call him Hunter's new sugar brother. They're wanting to get out ahead of the story before the outcome of that grand jury probe comes out. They want to try and just rejig the story.
There were probably real emails on the
Clearly,
laptop.
looking at the content of
Okay,
the laptop,
if it was planted, let's say
they feel if
Russia
they
planted the laptop.
story, that
They
would
probably had a hold of some authentic emails from Hunter Biden that were put on there
family's influence
to make it look like it was his laptop, of course.
Told me, Miranda, by the way, that Hunter Biden's lawyer has contacted him, did contact him, asking for the return of this laptop. They're gonna, good luck, by the way. He's pretty convincing because he's telling a story that he actually experienced. I want to ask you about this, though, because the jury is set to resume deliberations today in the trial of Hillary Clinton's.
Okay, maybe this hasn't happened yet. Maybe Sussman hadn't happened yet.
Michael Sussman is, for lying to the FBI, facing jury deliberations right now. As you've watched this trial unfold, Miranda, what do you anticipate?
Well, look, if he is convicted of lying to the FBI, Michael Sussman...
He wasn't.
faces a maximum of 5 years in jail. But it's not really just about him. He is just the first of the trials to come out.
No.
Probe into the Trump-Russia collusion hoax.
No.
And we have gleaned some really valuable insights into that dirty trick scheme by the Clinton campaign. Chiefly, I think, out of this trial, that Hillary Clinton was behind it, that she sanctioned this dirty trick.
No.
This, attempt to go to the FBI and pretend, Michael Sussman pretended that he was just a concerned citizen.
That was the claim of prosecutors, and the jury said, nuh-uh.
Research which claimed that Donald Trump was in bed with Vladimir Putin. Now, the ramifications of that were extreme. It crippled the Trump presidency, and to this day,
Bullshit crippled the Trump presidency. Let's see what they actually said after the verdict was read.
Congressman Jim Jordan, Republican of Ohio, ranking member of the House Judiciary Committee. So that's
They brought Jim Jordan on.
Oversight and Reform Committee.
Because, I mean, if anybody knows about covering up crime, it's fucking Jim Jordan.
Congressman, great to have you in focus today. So you heard what's at stake on both sides here. I want to get your take on it.
Well, I think Sussman lied.
Oh wait, still, there has been no Fox News piece posted to YouTube about Sussman since the not guilty verdict came back. Both of these were posted in the last couple of hours. I thought they were fresh. They were going to be reacting to the Sussman news, but no. Okay. I think we have one clip. These other two clips were posted after the clip I'm getting ready to show you. They did indeed cover his not guilty verdict. I want to see him freak out.
So we want to get now to our reporter, David Spunt. And David, as I was about to say, this trial was also taking a look at not just the fact that he lied, but whether or not he could bring into focus anything else that was going on. Because once it was found out...
Jury said he didn't lie. Jury said he didn't lie.
Harris, exactly. Was this lie material to the FBI's investigation. That's something that jurors had to find out.
The
Apparently,
Benny Hinn of Fox News.
to the FBI, or maybe it wasn't material. We're getting.
Well, we've got fucking Eddie Munster over here as a reporter.
Who is inside the building behind me, but Michael Sussman, the Clinton campaign lawyer indicted in special counsel John Durham's probe last September of 2021, not guilty for a charge of lying to the FBI. Harris, to give everyone just a backstory, we've been reporting this for about 2 weeks. So Michael Sussman was a Clinton campaign attorney in September 2016.
Looks like a vampire.
General Counsel James Baker, who happened to be a friend of his,
He is definitely sucking blood. He works for Fox News.
Said that he had some information that he wanted to meet with Baker as soon as possible at FBI headquarters. The next day, on September 19th, 2016,
let's not insult vampires. Like, come on.
FBI headquarters.
Like Bill from True Blood was a lot cooler than this fuck.
Information about an alleged secret back channel between the Trump organization and a Russian bank called Alpha Bank, which had ties to the Kremlin. Now, the question is not if those allegations were true, because the FBI quickly investigated.
Let's get to them having a meltdown. Here's their panel.
With bogus information.
Because if nothing else comes away from all of this, you can't erase what we now know about that. You can't take
What?
that away. So October is part of the next steps. David Spunt, excellent job. I want to bring in.
I don't even know what they're talking about. The next steps.
Also joining us today.
Nothing is coming from this investigation. The Durham investigation has been bullshit.
You were, comms, White House press secretary. You were asked questions daily about the president, and words like collusion and conspiracy and all sorts of things bandied about. And if nothing else, we have learned just how tight the connections were between the people feeding the FBI information and the Hillary campaign. No matter how this trial would turn out,
so they're just going ahead with their narrative.
Right. Look, on November 8th, 2016, the American people made a decision, and they decided to make President Donald J. Trump president of the United States.
I mean, technically, the American people voted overwhelmingly for Hillary Clinton.
For 3 years.
Hillary Clinton won by well over 3 million votes.
Was a Russian asset. Think about that. The president of the United States.
The Electoral College made him the president.
By Robert Mueller, that in fact was not true, that there was no collusion, but nevertheless, that was the
collusion wasn't what Mueller was investigating. There is no legal term of collusion.
On the Clinton payroll, he's getting paid as a lawyer. He goes into the FBI. Hillary Clinton, we learned through this trial, through Robbie Mook, her campaign manager, that she herself green-lighted this information going to the media despite not having the expertise to assess it. But it was given the
what?
Of being true, not because of a media report, but because of an FBI investigation into President Trump. And at the center of that was this Sussman meeting. And Michael Sussman, the prosecutor in this case, Britton Shaw, argued that he wanted a, quote, October surprise, that was at the heart of his intentions. It doesn't appear.
I mean, we got one. It was called the Access Hollywood tape.
The D.C. jury pool. This is an area of our country where 76% of people in the District of Columbia are registered Democrat. This was a jury pool of 37 that was whittled.
Oh, they're going to cry and say it was unfair.
There were many avowed Clinton supporters who said they had donated to the Clinton campaign. Some of those individuals weren't chosen, but about a third of that jury pool was either a Clinton supporter or had strong feelings about the election. Prosecutors were very frustrated that they would not get a fair shake here. So I think this does raise questions on how fair of a shake you can.
It doesn't raise questions. You fucks are just sore fucking losers.
Partisanly in one direction.
So I want to get this bit of breaking news in now, because we are learning that Michael Sussman and potentially his attorneys too, but Michael Sussman is set to give a statement. We have not been clear on the timing because we're not getting very specific details on this, but we expect in a short little while to hear from Michael Sussman with timing. What would you think at this point, Emily, that he...
Notice how they're all in a different location? I would assume we're back to strict COVID protocols at Fox News, aren't we?
I mean, he was
Because
still
cases are going up in New York.
changing hands through him to the FBI.
Right. If I were his attorney, which I wouldn't be, then I would advise his statement.
Which I wouldn't be.
A blanket, this affirms what I've been telling you all along, which is that I did not lie to the FBI, et cetera. Sort of general, vague statement affirming the jury's conclusion. I'd like to focus for a moment on something that David Spunt said when he called out the fact that this jury's...
I'm done. I can't do this for another fucking 6 minutes or 7 minutes. God damn. Fox News is horrible. You know how I know Fox News is horrible? They are the chosen news outlet of fascist leaders like Viktor Orban of Hungary.